this little book here called The Heart of Texas. Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was raised very close around the same area as he was. Some crazy days. How about a story? I can tell you this story because I was there. I can tell you this story because there's no one else around. They're all dead. I'm the last man standing. So, my brother, JoJo. Sorry, bro. Nobody cares now. When I was young, we would go through these phases, like, motorcycle phase. We all get dirt bikes or something. First it started with the bicycles, and Evel Knievel, and somebody go to the emergency room every time he'd jump. Next day somebody was getting hurt. And then we went on to the motorcycles, and then on to this and that, and then we went on to build models, and then the whole neighborhood would build models. We built these great elaborate models and everything, have competitions, and who had the best bike, and we'd build our bikes, and just we go through phases. So we finally come and got to the age, and I was only about 10 years old. He was 17. My brother was 17. So we come to the gun phase, and we start hunting. And we got everything, you got to have everything. So we're saving our money, we're going down, and we're buying the vest, and we got the gun, and we're rebluing them, and he's taking them apart, and we're putting them back together, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just, I'm hanging out with my big brother, and that's all I cared about at the time. And we're putting all this shit together and doing all this, and, got the right colors, and got the handbooks and stuff, for safety and stuff, but no, this is 1979. There wasn't no there were safety classes and stuff, but we wasn't taking any. And we wouldn't have no hunting license either, I was 10 years old, so I didn't have to have one, but I don't think he had to have one either at that time. And we were hunting down our home place, down in Jonesboro. At the time, we were living down in the country in a big subdivision, and off to the side back there was a big old piece of property. And that property went on for miles and miles and miles and miles. I wouldn't be surprised if there's Bigfoot in there living, because he could just go forever and not run into anything. You'd run into old homesteads and old barns and old pig lots and shit like that, but nobody was ever back there, and we would go back there and follow the railroad tracks and go hunt, shooting everything along the way. Back then they had, they still do, sometimes you can go find them green glass globes that went on top of telephone poles. And they're worth money now, but when I was a kid, we used to shoot them off with 22s. I don't really go to jail, but we got away with a lot of shit back then. But so we're out hunting one day, and we're starting to walk in the woods. We hadn't gotten in the woods yet. We went hunting, got in the car, drove across the hill. And sometimes we'd walk carrying our guns, and go to the yard and stuff. But this time we drove. Got my brother's big old green station wagon, and here we go barreling over the hill, and about a mile and a half, and we come to the old place where we go in, and we're getting out of the car, and up in the Charger pulls this guy we growed up with named Donnie and Nabnett. Now everybody, if you're on here and you know who Donnie and Nabnett was, then you know the story I'm fixing to tell. So Donnie gets out of the car. And he's my brother's age, maybe a year or two older, And Donnie was real cocky and real slick and real smooth, and he could just come off with shit you wouldn't believe. Man, he had one-liners that bust your knob real quick. And so he gets out of the car, and he got tennis shoes, no socks. And this was 1979, so the men when we wore shorts, they were short. They were short shorts. I mean, you've seen guys, but back then that's the way they wore them. I never did, but they wore shorts I did. They wore shorts that were short. And he had on a shirt that was cut like I wear right here, but it was cut up to here. They used to wear them back then. And so it's what they called a half shirt. People would cut them up and you showed your belly. And he looked like an idiot going out there and going here. He was going to go with no gun. He didn't have a gun. So here we go walking down through there and we're going hunting. And after about a mile, and we trekked a whole mile in there. And we come up on this nice kept barn. And we knew the cat. We knew the old man. And he kept it up back in the woods. That's why we always said he's growing smack. Growing smack. He was making mash back there because it was all kept up nice. The grass was green around the barn. Everything else was shit. But the grass was green around the barn and everything looked good. There was no house or nothing like that. And he would come down there and check and work on it. And so he heard us coming through the woods. He had to and now I'm 10 years old. And Joe, and all three of us were coming through the woods, and I don't know if we were going to talk to him or what we were going to say, but the next thing's, pew, 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 I'm hearing bullets go over my head, pew, by my ear, and I'm like, shit, my brother goes, get down, he's shooting at us, and we get down, and they're all down where I'm holding on to my gun. It ain't got no bullets in it, but I'm holding on to it, and my brother's over there, and he's shaking. Donnie's not shaking at all. Donnie's like, well, that some bitch can't shoot at us. He said, give me your gun. They just like, oh, okay. He said, give me your gun. My brother, no. He said, hell, give me your gun. I said, it ain't got no bullets in it. He said, I don't care, give it here. He said, give me the bullets. I reached in my little sack. It was like a little kid carrying candy, but it wasn't. It had 12-gauge shotgun shells in it. I handed the shells. My brother finally gets some words out and goes, well, what are you going to do? And he said, I'm going to shoot back at the son of a bitch. He said, you can't do that. And he said, well, I'm going to. And still, pow, pow, and you could hear him over, y'all get the hell out of here. I ain't putting up with this. I called the law. And Tony put that shell in there and clicked that gun up. At that time, I don't know what happened, but we all three stood up at the same time. And just as soon as we stood up, that old man had a station wagon too. I swear he did. He had a station wagon. And he sat down in that son of a bitch, and Donnie pulled the trigger on that 12 gauge and blew the back of that window out. And I swear I'm standing here right here today. That old man looked in that rearview mirror and could see us in the back, way back in the tree line. And he said, you sons of bitches, I'll follow y'all to hell to get you back for this. And he dropped it down in first and took off running in that car. And we took off running the opposite direction through the woods. We get out, we walk all the way back out, and I don't know what this old man, how far it took him or what he did in between time. And we're scared to death because Donnie just blowed that cat's windshield out, and we know we're going to get in trouble for it. And so we go out, we get in the station wagon, and we're about to pull out, and goes by that old man Sue Song. His name was Sue Song, that was his name. And it wasn't Sue Song, it was Sue Song, and he wasn't Asian or nothing. His name was just Sue Song. And he goes by in that station wagon. My brother pulls out and says, there he goes right by. And we pulled out behind him and followed him all the way to town until we turned off. And we never heard anything ever about that. Nobody ever said a word. We just went on with life and nobody said nothing. And that was a pretty good story, I think, and it's true. And that was my brother, Albert Jones. He was a funny cat. He was. He'd get into. I got all kinds of stories from him. Oh man, I got stories you wouldn't believe. It was rough for us. Our names was Eldon and Albert, and we had to fight our way through school because it was like Bert and Ernie. He had it worse. Man, I had Eldon, I had Elton John and Elvis and Elvis, Elton Pelvis, and but my brother, his was Alberto Bill5 and Egbert, and all kinds of shit. And that's why everybody growing up till the day he died called him AJ. There wasn't an A in his name anywhere. His name was Albert Jones, and he had a girlfriend that didn't like his name, so she called him Albert. And he had another friend that picked up on that and started calling him AJ, so they called him AJ the rest of his life till the day he died. God rest his soul. And the only brother I had is my older brother. And I had a girlfriend in school and didn't like my name, and I didn't like it either at the time. I cherish it now. but I didn't like it at the time. And my middle name's Keith, and she started calling me Keith. And everybody in the world called me Keith all of my life up till about 6 years ago. And now the only people that call me Keith is my father, my sisters, and that's it. And it may be people that know me from way back that don't know that I don't use that name no more, because I didn't kill him. He's there. He's there if he's need be. But well, it's good to talk to y'all. Thought I'd give you a story. I was there. I lived it.